Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Storytime with me, Kentrell Martin. And today I'm going to be reading Casey's first day of basketball practice. This is the first book, chapter book in the Shutters Adventure series, and this book was actually written by me and my son, Kentrell Martin Jr. So in this book, Casey's going to learn a valuable lesson about being himself. All right, so here we go. Chapter 1. Today's the day. At 8:30, Casey's alarm clock rang loudly next to his bed, but he didn't move. Casey, Casey, his mom's voice was the first thing he heard. Your alarm has been ringing for a full minute. Wake up. Even though Casey had not heard the alarm, he had heard his mother's voice. He sat up quickly, wiping drool off of his mouth with his hand. Huh? What? When? Casey mumbled as he looked around the room. He saw the alarm on his bedside table and pressed the off button. He had been up late the previous night thinking about today, his big day. Today was the first day of basketball practice. Every day for a month, Casey had been preparing by going to the basketball court to practice. Yesterday, he practiced a lot longer than usual. Didn't you hear your alarm ringing? His mom asked. Casey rubbed his eyes and answered, No, I didn't hear the alarm. I was dreaming about basketball practice. Thanks for waking me. Mom, what time is it? Before his mother could reply, he looked at the clock. Never mind, the clock says it's 8:37. What time is your basketball practice? His mom asked. It's at 9:30. I don't have much time. I better get ready. As Casey hopped out of bed, his mom exited the room. From the hallway, she yelled back, When you're ready, hurry downstairs. I cooked you a light breakfast. Casey walked quickly to the bathroom and brushed his teeth. Then he put on the clothes that he had laid out the previous night, tied his shoes, and slung his gym bag over his shoulder, containing his armband, headband, and basketball. He grabbed his hearing aid from the dresser and headed downstairs to the kitchen. His mom and dad were sitting at the table eating his mom's famous breakfast sandwiches. There was a sandwich on a plate in front of his chair, but he knew he couldn't eat it right before practice. Mom, do we have any bananas? He asked. Yes, we do, she said. Don't you want the breakfast sandwich I made for you? I do, but not before practice. I need to eat something light. Before Casey's mother could respond, his father grabbed the plate in front of the empty chair. Don't worry, I'll eat it, he says, as he opened his mouth and took a big bite. Casey and his mother laughed and shook their heads. Casey headed to the counter to grab a banana. As he peeled it, he glanced at the clock on the microwave. It was 9 o'clock. He only had 30 minutes before practice started. He had to leave right away so that he would have enough time to stretch and warm up. Mom, I'm going to the basketball court now, he said. Already, she said. You still have 30 minutes. The court is only a minute away. Casey's father answered for him. He can't just walk onto the court at 9:30. He needs to warm up and get loose before practice starts. He's young. He doesn't need to stretch, said Casey's mom. Bye, Mom and Dad. I'll see you later. Casey kissed his mother on the cheek and headed towards the door with his gym bag over his shoulder. Go get him, son. Remember, play hard and have fun, his dad yelled. Chapter 2. Should I wear it? While Casey stood on the curb, waiting to cross the street, he noticed that the sounds of the cars passing and birds chirping weren't as clear as usual. He wasn't wearing his hearing aid. He stopped for a moment to think about whether or not he should go back home to get it or go on without it. He looked at the court across the street and saw that only one little boy had arrived. He decided to get the hearing aid, turned around, and ran home. As soon as he walked through the door, his mother asked, "What did you forget?" Casey pointed to the counter where his hearing aid lay. His dad turned around, pointed at the hearing aid. He said, "You're going to need that. How can you pay attention if you can't hear the instructions?" Casey shrugged, grabbed the hearing aid, and called out, "Bye," as he ran out the door. By the time he reached the court, four boys were dribbling their balls around the court and shooting baskets. He only knew one of the boys, but they all said hello. Casey sat on the sidelines, opened his gym bag, and put on his headband and wristband. He placed his hearing aid on his lap as he tied his shoes tightly. When he was ready to go, he stood up and his hearing aid fell to the ground. He had forgotten about it that quickly. He picked up the hearing aid and held it in his hand, unsure whether he wanted to wear it or not. He had no idea how many players he would know on the team and didn't want any of the kids to look at him differently. Casey decided not to put the hearing aid on. He placed it in his gym bag and took out his basketball. As he ran out onto the court, 3 more boys arrived. They all warmed up with their basketballs until it was time to start practice. Chapter 3, A Star in the Making. "Huddle up, everyone," said the coach. "My name is Coach Tao, and I will be your coach this season. I see a few familiar faces and a lot of new ones. As the players who know me will tell you, I'm a fun coach. I don't ask for much. All that I ask is that you have fun, play hard, and follow directions. If you can do these 3 things, you're going to be all right. Today is going to be easy since it's the first day of practice. I want to see how you all play. We'll do some offensive drills followed by a few defensive drills. That will be it. Does anyone have any questions?" The players looked around to see who would ask the first question. Casey, being a brave little boy, raised his hand. "If we score 100 points in our first game, will you take us all out for pizza?" All the kids clapped their hands and cheered. The coach replied, 100 is a lot of points. "Yes, if you are lucky enough to score 100 points, I'll take you all out for pizza." The team jumped up and down and cheered again, more excited about eating pizza than about the practice. Once they settled down, Coach Tao lined them up for offensive drills, dribbling, shooting, and passing, and watched them intently as they played. Casey felt good during all of the drills. He was glad he had been practicing them all summer. At the end of the offensive practice, the coach told them to drink water and prepare for the defensive drills. Chapter 4, Didn't Hear a Thing. The team ran back to the basketball court and gathered around Coach Tao. "Are you ready to hear my instructions for the next drill?" he asked. The players all nodded and said, "Yes, Coach." "In the next drill, we're going to practice team defense," said the coach. "I want you all to talk to each other out on the court. If you need help, call for help. Call out the picks. You can't play good defense if you don't talk to each other. Offense sells tickets, but defense wins games. Even if you play good offense, you can't play for me if you can't play defense." As the players got ready for the defensive drill, Casey noticed his father sitting on the sideline bench. He wasn't surprised because his father always came to watch him play. This made Casey happy, and he started the drill full of energy. It was a 4-on-4 defensive drill in which the players call out picks and talk to each other. On the second play of the drill, Casey's man scored on a layup. Seconds later, his man scored again. This made Casey angry. He turned to his teammates and said, "Call out the picks. Let me know if someone is setting a screen." "I did," said his teammate. Coach blew the whistle to stop them from arguing. "Casey, you got to play better defense than that if you want to get any playing time." Casey was determined not to let his man score any more points. For the next 10 minutes, his man didn't score at all, and Casey showed that he could play great one-on-one defense. Practice was coming to an end. "The team that scores the next basket wins the drill," Coach Towle announced. Casey's man dribbled to his right. Casey chased him, but he stopped as he ran into a guy on offense who had set a pick on him. His man pulled up and shot a jumper that hit nothing but net. Casey looked at his teammate disappointed. His teammate came over to him and said, "I called out the pick. Didn't you hear me?" Casey was about to accuse him of lying. Then he remembered that he wasn't wearing his hearing aid. He put his head down and said, "No, I didn't hear you." Chapter 5, Be Who You Are. As Casey walked to the sideline, his father held out his hand. In it was Casey's hearing aid. "Why weren't you wearing your hearing aid?" he said. Casey stared at the ground, trying to think of an excuse, but he realized that he had no good reason for not wearing his hearing aid. Instead of making up a lie, he told his father the truth. "I didn't want the boys on the team to look at me as if I was different from them. If I had already met them, I would have worn it, but since there were so many new faces, I decided not to put it on." His father replied, "Casey, different is a good thing. We were all created different from each other. That's the beauty of the world. Even if you never do anything else, promise me that you will always be yourself. The world is full of people who want to be like other people, but the ones who stand out in the world are those who accept who they are. There can never be another Casey. As you grow up, you will see that people who care most about you are the ones who appreciate the real you. I promise you, if you show them the real Casey, the Casey who wears a hearing aid in his left ear, they will like you better than the Casey who just wants to fit in." Casey nodded his head. "Now tell me," said his father, "what lesson did you learn today?" Casey replied, "Be yourself." "That's right. Now let's go home and watch the Cleveland Cavaliers play basketball." Casey gave his father a big hug and they walked home to watch the game. The end. So in the end of the chapter books, they're a little different from the picture books. There are many different things in the back of the chapter book. So we have Q&A, questions and answers. So we have questions for each chapter with the answers. In this book, we have where you can fill it out and show who your favorite basketball players are. It shows who our favorite players are by position, basketball position. We have here where you can list all of your favorite players by basketball position. And then we have some important things about basketball, about the different passes, different types of shots you can take, different types of defenses. Showed you a chart how to play basketball, like terminology used around the basketball court. And then we have the signs. So here we go. So the 10 signs learned in this book. So we have excited. We have fun. Forgot. It's like it wiped off your brain. Forgot. Play. Practice. Today. basketball game coach with a C, coach, and different. All right, so that was Casey's first day of basketball practice. See you later.